Do you know what beef is? Do you know what beef is? Ask yourself. Do you know what beef is?
Do you know what beef is? Beef is Danny Emery and Vince Busa. Week motherfucking 5. It's rivalry week, baby. Let's get it on. We are here live with Danny Emery, Vinny, and your boy, the commish. Mick's also down here running around acting like a nut. But we are ready to go. We got 4 weeks down, 9 left to go. A couple teams separated from the pack, but still plenty of time left for everybody else to get involved. Today we're going to let Vinny. How are you, buddy?
What's up, commish?
Daniel, how are you?
Fuck Vinny.
We're going to let these two guys go at it a little bit. We're going to do our recaps as usual. We're going to play a little contenders and pretenders game. We are going to preview Week 5, including our game of the week, maybe game of the year. And we'll do our convention picks, our Vegas Vinny Daily Dose of the Degeneracy, and we're going to do a little league update, the B-League update that is from our boy, Rem Dizzle 215. So let's actually kick it off with that. Let's do the B-League update. What's going on with our minor league system?
Well, what's going on is we're getting ready because it's Mega Bowl season, everybody. It's coming up. So now, in the B-League, we have a surprising auto-drafted Connor Paul's team at 3-1 in first place in the league. You have me down here at 6th. We also have Timmy just got his first win over me. He is 1-3 at 9th place, and Dame with the fame coming in at 10th place in his first fantasy season, 1-3. Not looking too good for the young kid. Maybe a couple more years in the minors before it comes up.
Definitely. It's crazy. You got an auto draft team in that league in first place, and then in our league, the auto draft team 0-4.
Listen, I trust Jack to ruin his season with giving Sony Michel. How do you give Sony Michel to Wacky? Oh, my God.
What's your thoughts on that, Vinny boy?
Just it's a dumb move, and I mean, I don't want to necessarily blame GM Big Jack, because it could have been him that made the move. It could have been David. It could have been the computer. Who knows? There's just too many moving parts with 3 GMs.
It could have been. It could have just been Wacky and his Indiana gypsy swindling ways, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Dude thought practice was witchcraft.
Definitely, and fucks animals. That's for sure.
For sure. Definitely, though. Let's confirm it.
All right, speaking of Wacky, let's move on to our Week 4 recaps. The gritty curse did not pay off as Wacky stayed undefeated. Picked up the 131-91 win over the commish and the Degenerates. Vinny, thanks a lot, because Todd Gurley as well as Jared Goff, again, were his difference makers.
Yeah, good trade, Vince.
And I asked you guys, we'll let you answer first, Vinny. How long can the Todd Gurley-led Badass Kids stay undefeated?
He doesn't make it past Rocco this week.
You know what, Vince? We never agreed on anything in our lives, and now that I'm looking at the schedules, not only is he going to not make it past Rocco, but he's going to fall way down the charts when he loses to Blecker next week.
Oh, back-to-back L's?
Back-to-back L's.
I can say it.
Big time.
Bad things are coming to the badass.
Yeah, you too.
Yes.
You too.
Crazy.
Yeah, you too.
Hey, shout out Gronk with a interception early on in the game. And then, last week we had the Click Commanders pick up a 123-88 win over the team Danny refers to as the bye week. And the boys,
Yeah, good game, Kev.
Zeke and Mick's favorite player, George Kittle, won the week for Danny. Dan, you answer first. All right, so Daniel, where do you see, do you have any belief left in Kev's team, or do you think he's a lottery team for sure?
No, I proclaimed him bye week in the boys for a reason. And as Mick's trying to say, the dude just has a terrible team. He's 1-3. I'm looking at his team, and it is a mess. It's a mess. I mean, he trades, and he's got Bell coming back, but that's not going to help him week 7 when he's 1-6. You know, I mean, the dude's a mess, and definitely doesn't drink any beers at Bloom. That's confirmed.
What about you, Vinny? Any belief in Kev's team at all, or no?
As far as this season goes, no. The only belief I have is that he will play spoiler to at least one playoff team at the end of the year.
Okay.
Wow, maybe Danny, maybe knock Danny out later in the year if they got a matchup.
We can only hope, but probably Danny's going to get knocked out week 13 when I give him the second ass.
All right, we had some technical difficulties, but we are back. Again, they took an L last week, Carter's Killers, despite scoring 131 points. They still could not get that long-awaited first W as they took the L to Tom's squad, 137-131. Deshaun Watson had a huge game for Tom, and Golden Tate left on the bench is what sunk Carter's Killers. I think he had about 25, 26 points, and he was on the bench.
Yikes.
It's almost like a move you would make, Dan.
Hey,
Yeah, eat a dick boost.
So, I mean, they had the highest draft grade. They were once seen as a championship contender in the preseason after the draft. But after an 0-4 start, what's the realistic expectations for Carter's Killers?
All right, I'll start it off because Boost is a jerk. So, listen, he put up 131 points. I mean, this just comes down to you can't give Wacky a top 10 running back, you know? And it was just bad luck. I mean, Tommy was out for blood. You know, both of these teams stink, and they were both looking for a win, and Tommy nudged it out by 6 points.
Your thoughts, Vinny?
well, Dan, you think Sony Michel's a top 10 running back?
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
That's outrageous, and I
Okay.
can't believe
That might have just
you actually haven't thought that you're going to beat me this week with fucking a mindset like that.
yeah, that might have just swayed my pick, honestly, a little bit, Boost.
What the fuck? What
Wait,
the fuck,
the
man?
Patriots run the most goal line plays, running plays in the NFL. So I don't know where you got.
8 different running backs and 5.
There's two. There's two there right now. I can't believe I'm talking about this team like that. There's two. James White gets 3 carries a year, so like eat a dick.
And speaking of James White, he is being started by Week and the boys.
Yep, they stink.
Well, he loves the
He
Pats.
loves them guys.
So, what do you think went wrong this year with Carter's Killers?
Well, to piggyback off of what I said earlier, I mean, you can't have 3 GMs and think you're going to have success in this league.
Too many cooks in the kitchen?
Well,
Too many
I've
Chiefs, not enough
actually
Indians.
heard
Too
that
many
since
Indians, not enough Chiefs.
since last year, I actually from an undisclosed source, I heard that Skylar and Nick have been running your fantasy team. That's why they're doing so good.
It's pretty harsh allegations.
You know?
Well, I had to give the 9 other teams in the league a chance. I just want to dominate for so long.
Fucking hate this dude.
You know.
Speaking of domination, the Stranglers were not able to dominate the Zoids last week. They took their first L as they were bested 126-101. It was a battle of two studs as Kamara outdueled Melvin Gordon 36-23, which was a huge difference in the game. I'll ask you guys again. These are two of the top teams in the league, in my opinion, and it might not even be opinion at this point. It might be a fact. They do not have a rematch on the schedule, but if they were to meet up later on in the playoffs or maybe even as our championship game, Vinny, who do you see taking the W in a potential rematch between these two teams?
I gotta sway towards Rocco at this point.
Okay.
Looking at their squads respectively right now, I think Kamara is just too much of a problem, and Mark Ingram, my boy, shout out, coming back. That Russian attack's just going to get even more potent. Odell's going to Odell, and Juju's going to Juju.
Before you answer, I just want to let everyone know, Boosh, you love Odell.
Yep. Big time
seriously
Giants
love Odell. Vinny, New York Vinny.
Listen, little fun fact that many in this league don't know. I was actually on that boat partying with Odell years back.
I'm sure you were.
Wow. That's probably why they lost the playoff game after that.
Yo, good looks on that, to be honest.
So, Dan, I'll ask you the same thing. I'm going to assume you're probably going to say Black just because Booth said Rocco and you guys don't agree on a whole lot.
Well, I came into tonight saying that Rocco, but now that I'm looking at these teams, I mean, we have Alshon Jeffrey and Julian Edelman who coming back for the Kensington Stranglers, who already have Mike Evans, Tariq Hill, I think Blecker's gonna more likely than not he'll make a dumb trade for one of those two guys, but he could upgrade his team and just keep pounding.
Yeah, there's a lot of trade bait there for sure.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of guys who make somewhat questionable trades, we'll go to the RMD Reggie Smokers. They seem to fleece everybody.
Yeah.
And
always.
They took the W over his, we'll call it his B rival, because Dan, you're obviously the main rival, but he took a W over Richie, 119-96.
Yeah.
It's pretty much solid performances all across Vinny's lineup. They helped him overcome Kirk Cousins and his 31-point Thursday night for Richie. So, I know you guys both have, a certain level of beef with Richie.
Oh, yeah.
But what is the confidence level for you guys of him digging out of a 1-3 hole?
Go ahead, Boost.
I'll give Richie the benefit of the doubt right now, and I'll give it a 7.5 because I think he sneaks in.
Chances to get in the playoffs? Was that the question?
Pretty much. Just the chances of him overcoming a 1-3 start to make the playoffs, or at least have a winning season.
Look, the dude is playing. He's got a good team. I mean, he's only like fourth in the points right now. He's been putting up points. He had a bad week against Boost, which is always unfortunate. You always want to see Boost lose. But I mean, he's either going to turn it around or he's going to end the year in 8th place with the 3rd most points. Like that's how I can see his season going.
Gun to your head, does he make the playoffs? Yes or no?
No.
You would have been shot already.
I would have been shot, and I'm going to say no.
No?
Just because, I'm going to say no. It's just an unlucky year for him.
I actually do like Richie's chances of making the playoffs. I think he's scoring points every week. Eventually his luck will break. I think even more than myself, out of the 1-3 teams, his team has the best chance to sneak into the playoffs. Still early. He'll get things right. He got a solid enough roster. Especially if Dez gets signed by a team, he picks him back up. Watch out.
Sure he will.
And I guess we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, that's all our matchups. We had some nice matchups last week. What was, in your opinion, Boost, the most impressive performance in Week 4?
Most impressive performance, I'm going to have to go with the biggest game of the week, which was Rocco and Blecker, and I'm going to give it to Kamara, man. 180 yards, 3 TDs. That's a winning recipe right there.
How about you, Rem?
I'm just going to say that Boost is a loser, and, I mean, in this matchup, I have to give it to, I'm going to go with Tommy's team over Carter's Killers, and Jared Cook, who snapped with 23 points. I mean, he only won by 6. And that was a big part of it right there because the rest of his running backs are really bad. So he came up big, and so did Deshaun Watson with 32 points last week.
Yeah, it was a big performance from him. As much as I hate to say it, and I can't wait for him to take his first L. Hopefully it's soon. I got to go Wacky. He, put up another respectable week, 130 plus points. Most of it was from Thursday night with Goff, Gurley, and Adam Thielen. Shit, I think like 75% of it was Thursday night. But it was an impressive performance nonetheless. Fuck them. So, how about in the surprise department? What stood out to you guys last week? What was one of the bigger surprises of Week 4?
Well, I looked at my matchup. It has to be Michael Thomas only getting 4 points. It was huge in my win over Richie.
Yeah, that's probably why you won, to be honest.
Oh. And my team's a bomb squad, but I mean,
no, they're okay. Like they're not a great team, but they're all right.
Realistically, all biased.
Yeah, you'll find out this week. All right, dude.
Listen, I'm third in the power rankings right now.
Okay,
I can see that. I can say maybe even second.
And you're gonna lose this week, and you're gonna drop even further. It's cool.
You're going to be 2-3. You're going to hold the same record as Richie, and Richie's going to take your playoff spot.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, that's cool, I guess.
Well, we are going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back.